His computer just crashed. He's just waiting.
Okay.
We are live.
There we go.
Yay! How's it?
What's happening? Welcome back.
Okay, everybody, how's it?
All right, guys, welcome to the Go Fish Weekly Wrap-Up here at Racetech Yamaha. This is going to be a weekly highlights show where we discuss the week's fishing that's passed, the week's fishing that's to come, a little bit of season tips and tactics that we're going to be bringing in. We're also going to be bringing in some industry experts as well as some personalities from the fishing industry that make fishing what it is. Tonight we are here with Racetech owner Shay Thackeray.
How's it, guys?
Shay, welcome. Kayak extraordinaire and owner of Real Service KZN,
Yes,
Paul Nixon. Kevin Tate, myself Kirk, Byron Kane, Brendan Nolan. There we go. And Alistair, and obviously our camera crew of Chad and Cam. Guys, welcome to the show tonight. We're going to be discussing a couple of different topics. Hopefully you guys are going to learn something. We've also got a very interactive, we've got the feed where you guys can interact with us as well and ask us questions throughout the show, which we will be bringing in later to answer. So make sure you get your questions ready and put them on the feed. Tonight what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running over some drop shot tips with Ali. Ali, you got a couple of lacquer little tips that you can give us with regards to pimping out the drop shots. We're going to go over some paddling tips with Paul here with regards to making sure you're choosing the right paddle that goes with your stature and physique. Yeah, maybe a motor, maybe an outboard, not a paddle. We're also going to go through some not so lacquer things that happen in sort of in fishing, stuff that we kind of want to shy away from, but it's extremely important that we discuss it because everyone can learn from it, and that's launching. So we've got a couple of hectic little videos that we're going to show you guys with regards to launching of jet skis. We've got a jet ski clip that goes quite south. We've also got a video of Byron on a ski boat that he's also going to run us through. We had a bit of a nasty launch at Umhlanga. And that's what we're going to lead the show with today. Guys, we've also got some prizes that we're going to give away. We've got an awesome cool bag here.
I'm going to see if I can fit in.
Yeah, Brendan's going to see if he can jump in there. Yeah,
That's not guaranteed.
We'll be able to fill it. We can fill it up with stuff as well, Brendan, if you get in. But a lovely cool bag from Stephen Wiggle up in Belito. Specifically made, it's a fish bag specifically made for obviously fishing. It's got a nice little release cap on the top that releases your water and your fish blood after you've stuck fish in there. And he also makes different size ones as well. So big thanks to Stephen from Coolbag for that one. And we've also got some Lacquer Go Fish attire that we're going to be giving away as well. So we're going to lead with the launching. And we've got Tim Norse on the line as well on Zoom that we're going to bring up now. And firstly, we're going to lead with the jet ski video of Tim and the mate getting into a bit of trouble at Westbrook Beach, is it?
Yeah,
Correct.
it was at Westbrook, yeah.
So,
Right, I mean, and just before we go in there, I think just to give a little bit of background, I think, so Tim and I met through work a while back, and he's always been keen to fish and that. He fished with me a bit on the boat and that, and then wanted to get into the jet ski side because I was fishing the jet ski side. And got into the jet ski quite quickly, and went a few times on the boat, and yeah, just keen to get on the water all the time, but was still in the sort of learning phase back then. I think it was in about 2016. So that just gives a bit of context, and really where we're coming from here is, you know, if you don't have someone sort of experienced in the area, you know, things can go badly wrong quite quickly, and that's why it's always important. We spoke about it in some of our other clips here, you know, is to, especially when you're launching at sites, Kev, you spoke about it, was when we launched in sites, we, you know, you talk to the locals, chat to them, and normally the guys, you must talk to the guys who are catching fish because they are normally the guys who fish there the most.
Regularly, yeah.
So try and find the guys who catch a lot of fish, because those are the guys those are the oaks you should be talking to at the site. And just get guidance from the guys before you push. So I don't want to preempt too much, but here's the clip, and then we'll chat to Tim straight after that.
You got it there, Cam?
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, you can see the guys have pushed in now, and then there's a problem with the ski in terms of being able to get on and get going. The shore is probably about 4 or 5 foot solid.
Washing
And washing, yeah, big, huge surge. And the thing you got to know here, guys, is that as much as you look at a jet ski and you think it's a small piece of kit that you can handle, it's 400 kilos.
Yeah.
And it's 400 kilos that does what it wants when you don't have control of it. And that's the key thing, guys. So, we'll talk some more, and you can just see this thing could have gone very, very bad. It's 400 kilos of weight there.
Oh, get away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Without a
that's going to.
Can be fixed.
Yeah, that can.
But insurance is for.
It can hit you. So,
I think here, Byron, something.
and here we go. And that's 1-2 meters away from one of the guys. So not pretty at all. Not pretty at all.
As much as it's not nice to see that, stay away from it.
Yeah, look, can
Okay.
I tell you guys, this can happen so quickly, especially if you're looking at launches up and down the coast. Westbrook, Salmon, Tinley, they're notorious, Nkwazi, notorious launches. So anybody launching, you want to get the locals to be on your side, you want them to be with you, because if this goes south, they're on the beach with you. They're telling you what to look for, telling you to help you call it. Make sure you've got, on a jet ski especially, you've got polish or silicone on the bottom of your ski. I'm telling you, the push, that millisecond makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to bring Tim Norse in here. Tim was on the beach that day. He was one of the guys in the mix there. Tim, welcome to the Go Fish weekly wrap-up. I'm going to hand you over to Byron, and you guys can have a chat about the day in question that we've just showed.
Yeah. I think, look, I've given a bit of...
Thanks, Byron.
Yeah, look, I think I've given a bit of background, but Tim, I think I'll hand it to you. That was 4 years ago. And everything's 2020 in hindsight, and everyone can give their 10 cents. But at the end of the day, if you look back on it now, what you know now and what you've learned, just give us some sort of input from how you look at it from this perspective now, with the experience you've picked up now.
Byron, thanks. And look, I've watched that video over and over again, and I still think I can learn from it and learn from accidents that happened, because it honestly happened so quickly. 1 minute we were over the waves and we thought we were out, and the next minute there was a wave behind it. So it honestly came as such a surprise, and I'm still scared of that moment today, because it really was a scary moment. But I think if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be the fisherman I am today. And I think that it's helped me learn, helped me meet the right people, get involved in a club, and only launch when it's right. And I think the week before, as I said to you, we caught a nice sailfish in that same area, in the Westbrook area. So it didn't matter at that time. We came from Joburg, launched on the Vol Dam, and we didn't really know enough about the sea. So I think the excitement of the sailfish in the next day, the next week, when it was shore break of 3 meters, we just weren't cautious enough, and we really learned a lesson. And if I'd known the right people and the right groups, like you guys, it would never have happened, and it really could have ended a lot worse, which I'm glad it didn't. And it's obviously I love the sea now, but I know when to launch and when not to.
Yeah, but and I think what we appreciate is that you've come on to the show, because a lot of people try and shy away from this, and they try and hide it, and it's quite an epic thing. And we're going to go through mine now as well. So it's not only about experience. It doesn't matter how clever, how good you think you are. It can happen to anyone, and it's that 1 second, like you say, it's that 1 second when you think it's right, and you go and whatever, and something happens. And you'll see on the clip that we're going to show shortly on my launch, it was on, and I got caught as well. And when you're holding your son in your arms, it's not like
Sure.
But,
sure.
Yep.
I think that, I think everyone can learn a lot from the sea, and it's something to be respected, on the highest level.
And it can happen quicker.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. It's too quick.
But big up to you for coming on the show.
Tim,
eh?
shit, we appreciate it. And lucky you got back on the horse. And
No problem.
and I think that's the key thing, is to get back on it. Like with anything in life, you gotta face it again, and get back on it, and get out there. And you're doing it. I mean, you're launching at Mshlonga, which, believe me, is no easy launch either. It's tight, and like we'll see now on my clip, it can hurt you very quickly as well. But buddy, thanks so much, Shana. Thanks, we appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks very much.
And
Bud.
we'll check you on the water, and we'll see you at the club
Thanks,
for a bit.
guys. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks, Tim.
Pleasure.
Appreciate
Shot
it.
down,
Thank you. Thank you.
But the scary thing is with this type of thing, it can happen so quickly. I mean, I've rolled as well. I rolled at Salmon. I don't know if you remember that day.
I was there that day.
And it's got the perfect call, got through the shore break, everything 100%. But my gear, it was before the days of race tech, wasn't at 100%. I had a dodgy battery and my ski wouldn't start. And the ski rolled up the beach. And it happens that quick. But if I can say one thing is, when it goes south, dive out of the way.
Get out the
You know
way.
what? Your life is worth a lot more than that piece of equipment rolling up the
I
beach.
remember you that story.
Yeah.
That was exactly what you did. You just bailed right up.
Yeah, I
I
did.
dived into sea and let it happen behind me.
But I want to give you a big heads up there. On that day that Shay rolled, I tell you, I've never seen a crew. I had just started jet ski fishing, and I've never seen a crew
Get
that
the ski out
Salmon
of the
Bay.
water, yeah.
I promise you, before Shay dived into the waves to get away from his ski, when that awning opened up, and before he could put his head up, the Salmon Bay boys had got in, hooked his ski, and was coming back to the beach.
It was right.
So they were so, they're so well versed in that, because there's always a guy on the rope. So a big heads up there, a big
I
up
think
there
Salmon
to
Bay's
Salmon.
really come a long way with their plan.
No, we are
guys
watching and
are-
ready for that, because we
on
know.
go.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Look.
Kev, we've spoken about it this week. You get the two guys, the guys that have rolled and the guys who are going to roll.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, you've got to always think that split second is going to happen you that day. So stay aware.
Absolutely.
Stay awake. It's going to happen, or if it hasn't happened already. So make sure you respect it every time.
And I think also just some key little facts there, guys. As soon as anything happens, and it's not only on a jet ski, it's on a ski boat as well. If ever there's anything going down and you're bailing, you bail to the outside.
Seaside, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, you
Away.
go seaside. You
Seaside,
don't dive
yeah.
towards the land. You dive away to the sea, away from the land, because any movement of the boat is going to be towards the land. So you always dive away, whether it's a ski boat, paddle ski,
Probably
whatever
not
it
as
is.
critical on a paddle ski.
It's
And
key that you bail with.
And
it.
Byron, instinctively, you want to bail for the land. Instinctively, you want to get
Too many guys that go try and
you just
grab the
can't.
ski when it's getting sucked out.
No.
But they don't realize that waves are
coming
already
back.
coming, and when that hits you, it's going to break you. Leave it. That's what race tech's
When
for.
Byron's finished showing his
Just put it
clip,
back together. Give
We'll
it
fix
back.
it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna talk you through this clip. So now I've been fishing for about 40 years. So I've launched a hell of a lot through surf, and when you've done something for 10,000 hours, there's a saying that you get a feeling. I was first on the beach in the day. It was just me and Braden. He's my 11-year-old son. We get on the beach. Maybe just pause it there for a sec. We get on the beach.
Just
and
apologize for the picture quality, guys. It's coming from cell phones. So
Yeah. We get on the beach. I'm first on the beach. It's still dark. It starts getting light. It's not big, 3 foot maybe at best on the back. It's messy though. It's a northeast chop, so we've got a short wave period between the waves. It's very short. It's still quite full in Granny, so it washes over the rocks. I'm standing on the beach and I just feel, and the guys say, "You ready to go?" And I just get a bad feeling, and I just say, "Okay, I'm not going." I let one of the other guys push. Now, most guys know me. I don't let anyone go before me. So,
Like Kevin.
and there was like I had a feeling. And anyway, the boat pushed before me and they got out no problem. It was just a bit messy in the front. And I wasn't actually worried about the back. It was just sitting in the bay. So anyway, it starts settling a little bit. The tide is going out, and I say, right, it looks good, and okay, and I say, let's push. and we go. So we into the bay, no problem. Motor's running, trim down.
But it's a mess, I can see.
Boat's in control now. In control. I'm facing to the sea now. So you face the sea here, but the reef runs at 45. I'm watching the back. You can see it's still on the outside at the back line. It's flat. You see a set come now. I'm watching to the north as well. It starts lying down on the north. So I'm thinking, right, it's close. I'm going to go. I'm going to hit the foamy. I'm going to punch the foamy, and I'm going to run because it's close together. We're not getting a break. Okay, so I see the break coming. Now, you normally get a spook wave here at the back. And now I'm going, and the spook wave comes. And I know about that wave. There he starts coming. Small, I can handle it. All of a sudden, the bank, it stands.
Bang.
And it gets power.
Oh!
Okay. So what happened is in that situation on a boat, when you hit a wave, you throttle back. So you gun towards the wave, and just before impact, you come off the throttle. And my mistake that I did is I came back on the throttle. I never came out of gear, so it didn't click. My hand was on the throttle, and the wave was a foamy, and when it powered up, when we hit it, it was double the impact because the wave had now created power, and I fell forward on the throttle. And that's why we went vertical. Because as we hit it, I then accelerated and we went vertical. So the learning there, first of all, is when you, well, not the learning, but yeah, what you know is when you hit a wave on a boat, you throttle back. So you put power into it, and just before you hit it, you throttle back so that you've got momentum to smash it. You don't go vertical. Momentum drives into the wave. Wave goes over you, and you'll pop out the back 9 times out of 10. The second part of this is that as you come out, when you hit a wave, guys can panic. And they freeze, and now you're actually in the surf zone, and you get caught by the next wave. So here, you can see the brakes on after it, there's nothing behind it, but I keep going out. Now, Braden's lying on the deck, and he's in major pain. So I get him out, and luckily, fortunately, because I never saw it happen to him, I was obviously watching the wave, and I thought he'd come down, hit the bar on the deck, on the top, on the handle, and cracked a rib or something, and maybe had a punctured lung. So that's the pain he was in, so I was just holding him there. Luckily, fortunately, he was winded. So it can go very wrong very quickly, and there you can see it's not big at all, you know. It's just a wave that got power on the bank, and it's not even a big wave.
Now, Byron, the quality's not great here, but if you watch this footage, when the quality is right, his son looked like he got thrown out the boat.
Yeah.
So you could see Byron sort of looking back. We're thinking, you know, the kid's out the boat. So I can understand why he got winded.
Well,
So it's just the thing was, and going back to Tim, and was you got to get back on the horse. So the very next weekend he launched with me. It was Father's Day, so him and my daughter launched with me.
So they had no choice.
At Granny's again, they had no choice. It was my decision.
Yeah, I saw you got back on the horse. You will go.
Yeah, so I think that's key as well, guys, because believe me, I was shitting myself the next weekend when I launched, and it was actually a lot calmer than that. But I was really, really nervous launching again because I had the 2 kids with me on the beach, on the boat.
credit to you for standing up to it.
I can tell you, Byron, the last week, you all know that I rolled my jet ski in the surf, not launching, but fishing for Garrick. Yeah. Now, I want to tell you, fishing for snook or Garrick, you are shallow, and you are drifting some of the time. And you know...
Kevin, I'm just asking, haven't you caught enough big Garrick yet? Do you still want to go that close to the waves? You know, if I can
I thought he was rocking surf angling just so close to the big sea.
Boom! Join angle.
You know, just going
But
back
it's the
to...
distraction, though.
Yeah.
It's the distraction of Garrick that catches you.
I promise you. Sorry, Ali.
No, carry on.
No, you were saying you'd have a
Just
go.
going back to the jet skis, and I want to tie into you, Paul. You know, I was looking at, and I want to go back to that one on the beach. You know, with a jet ski, you're obviously pushing very far. Okay, and obviously, yes, that was the wrong call. You can see how far that surges. And you know, you've got to take where your surge stops to where it sucks back, and that's how far you're pushing.
Yeah.
So you better make
That's a good point.
Mate,
that
calculate
in,
that.
in, let's call it 3 to 4 seconds that you're pushing before
Ali-
the next one's coming. And one thing that I've learned, guys, is that I push, and a lot of oaks don't agree with me, but me personally, I've learned to push my own jet ski. So I've got guys that help me, but why I do that is because if I mistime it, and I've done it before, I did it, Byron was with me on Saturday, that if that shore break hits me, I'm behind it, and I take the impact. And as long as you're holding the back of that ski, and that shore break hits you, it will pop through. And the minute it pops through, you on the back, you can
Yeah.
jump on and go.
Yeah.
So it's my personal preference. Try it. Have guys help you push, but push the back.
Okay, Ali.
Time it. Time it, guys.
Yeah.
Once you're through, and if you time it well enough, you slide clean over, you jump on the back, you start, and you go. So it's just my sort of tip that I've got. But, you know, Paul, in all honesty, let's be honest, the kayaker has to time it the best.
Yeah, no, we go upside down. Fortunately, thankfully, there's a lot less that can go wrong on an upside down paddle ski. You flip it back over,
You plan
got
to
your
go
motor
upside
in your
down.
hand, and then you go for it
But when
again.
do you call it? You know, like I said, I call it when it sucks back and it's about to form, breaks, and I'm pushing.
It's a
'Cause
different
hopefully
call, eh?
It
Yeah.
closes by then.
It's a slightly different call,
I
but
wanted to know a
so
kayak
I would generally wait for it to the last set wave to break on the back line, and that's when it's going to fill up the most on the shore break, and I'll wait for it to lie flat on the back, and for the biggest swell to push up on the beach, and on that
You go.
push, generally you throw your ski on with a bit of momentum. So you try and, a lot of the kayaks now have got a handle on the side of the boat that stops it from sort of swinging. So you have boat in hand, paddle
You're
in the
holding the
other
front
hand.
now, eh?
No, it's like in the
Midway.
sort of
Okay.
3/4 of the way forward.
Also stops your rudder from digging in the sand. and
Also stops
causing
your rudder.
lag, yeah.
Yeah. So as you see the wave break on the shore and rush up the beach, you now run, throw your boat, and it's almost like a life-saving start. The guys that race, surf ski, and do life-saving competitively, they would know this. You kind of put your bum in and throw your leg over, and with that, you take the first stroke. So in that movement, then you can get your feet into the boat, and you've got now momentum to take the next stroke, which should get you through that shore break.
Yeah,
And
look-
probably the most dangerous
toughest.
part or toughest part of a kayak launch. Obviously, once you've done that, now you're in a gutter, you've got a bit of time to sort of collect your thoughts, get your feet correctly on your pedals, see what's coming your way, paddle up to the bank, and then wait for the next lull, and then go like it's a 100-meter sprint.
I'll stick to my engine.
Look, I do want to tell you.
Petrol power.
I'm sure
2 horsepower.
in the clip we're going to load tomorrow on what happened, it didn't look like that when Kirk launched that ping.
Did you not see that technique, Kev? You didn't check
it,
that.
it was totally different, I'll be honest. It was sort of a drag. I mean,
Yeah,
it only weighs a ton.
Yeah.
And then it was, I don't know, there had to be a lot of water. So now when Kirk got on it, it was on the sand.
Yeah.
I mean, and the shore break was this high.
I was like this.
I was like, wow.
The nose was about that high out the water.
I mean, you know,
The tide rose 2 meters
it was
when you
different.
got in the ocean.
Yeah.
The tide went from there
But
to
you know,
It's
I
also
think
important to get back on your horse when you get banged in the kayak. It's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
There's all the kayak fishermen have had a proper wave
Yeah.
on their head.
Oh, we've seen them, eh?
No.
When you get a 2-wave hold down,
But Paula, you know what I've seen often, like, and it happens especially in comps, and you cringe every time you check it. Like when they used
Don't
to have
worry.
that salt rock comp,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was a heavy one. Okay, that was a heavy one. Always like big surf. But like you get a lot of the guys wherever they come from.
they call it white line fever.
Yeah, and they're all rushing to launch at the same time on the
Yeah.
kayak. And you get oaks that are literally a meter behind each other from nose to
Launching
tail.
one to one and
Launching like it. You get a hit by a wave, that front oak's going to come straight back on
No,
top of you or get
I've
cleaned
lost
out,
a
you know?
kayak because of that. I was
Snapped it.
half a boat length behind another guy. Well, I was ahead. I got dusted by a wave and rolled, and he
T-boned you.
me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other
That's
thing
the
is,
wrong place at the wrong
the
time.
other
That-
thing as well that I've noticed as well is the oaks, when they come off their skis, and let's say, or they on the shore break and their mates come off their skis, okay, and their mate's still flipping wallowing in the mid break and the ski's been washed forward, that mate that's on the shore tries to go and grab that ski.
No,
And that ski is now like side on to the surf,
And his
and he runs there
It's a
to
leg
try and
breaker.
grab it. Jeepers.
And they get wiped out
you
on.
just see the oak get clotheslined by that ski, bro. And he's
It's also the weight
upside
thing. It's a
down.
power thing, you know. It's although they don't weigh a lot, the force of the water on it,
Yeah.
it's the same as the
It's
jet
incredible.
ski.
Incredible.
That water, when it's
If it
once
catches
it
you
gets
the
hold
wrong
of it,
angle,
moves,
it'll
Yeah,
break something.
yeah.
it'll just snap
My,
your hand straight
my
off.
wife has got a thing with me. I've got a once a year appointment with emergency ward at the hospital. I've had stitches, I've broken bones, I've cracked stuff, broken boat, whatever. Yeah, if you lose a ski in the shorey, jump ocean side of the boat if you can, or stay underwater, let that thing wash up the beach. And once it's settled on the sand,
Go and grab it.
grab it.
One thing I
it's
can
not
say,
400 kilos, but it's, you know, a fully loaded
Still
paddle
hurts,
ski
eh?
will weigh
Yeah, it still
55
hurts
or
you.
60 kilos coming at you at however many k's an hour is not.
But I can tell you what I have seen is I have seen the fishermen, irrespective of disciplines. If a kayak goes down and gets washed up, the boys are there.
Yeah.
And that's what I love to see, the camaraderie. The oak will go, somebody will come and grab the nose and pull it up. Not just let him to wallow and get smashed in the shore break. And the same for the kayakers on the jet skis. If something goes wrong, the boys are there.
And that's a learning as well, I think, you know, because the danger comes when you're launching by yourself, and that's the thing, you know, even when you're
Yeah.
quiet beach, whether it's a jet ski, ski boat, or kayak, you know, just to try and have, you know, someone with you, you know.
Look,
Just,
what happened to
because
me,
you need
Byron,
some
last
assistance.
week was, you know, I fish a lot of Garrick, you guys know that, and snook. And I took a guy out. It was the first time since COVID that we were allowed to go double up. This chap works at the club. I said, come, let's go have a go. He was so excited. It was his birthday. Went round the corner, got some bait, battled for bait. Got round there, said to him, come, I'm going to guarantee you're going to get into a fish in 5 minutes. He says, never. Afrikaans, nooit. I say, hey, you're with Kevy now. We're going. So we put out
From
the
the
bait.
ball.
With it, hey. Yeah, papa, no praat jy. No praat jy. And within 5 minutes we were on. So I didn't set the drag. I had 30-pound leader. So I set it, fairly light. And I know with a novice fisherman, you don't want to set it up because you'll just try and wind it and break it. So the fish is running back and forth, and I'm in about 8 meters of water. I'm having a look around. It's not wild, but there's a little wave here and there. And he took so long, and I didn't want to tell him, look, I didn't want to crank it up a bit because, if you're not used to fishing, you can't feel the power when you're getting too much and back it off or whatever. And the fish would come to ski and go. And then when he saw it, it was a size Gary, okay? Now, he wanted to take it out because, it was his birthday type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I don't like to take the Gary card, but he wanted to. So I'm like, okay. And the fish comes. And eventually, obviously, we're sort of drifting shallower. And if you know what I'm talking about, it's right in front of Zimbabwe Pools, a place called Sweetwaters,
Octopus Rick.
right there, right by the wreck. And the next minute the Garrick's close. And as again, a guy who doesn't know how to fish, he's got the rod and the Garrick's going sort of under the ski, and I'm like leaning over. By this time, I'm facing the sea, but I'm here trying to pull the rod, say no, control the head of the fish,
Distraction.
bring it out, it ran away, it comes in. By this time, I'm going to say 5 seconds. Now, it sounds, 5 seconds is nothing. And the next one when I looked up, it looked like somebody put a big awning. I'm like, ish, where did this come from, man? I took my sunglasses off to have a look. Had a cloud, and then and the worst, I had the gaff in the hand, and I just said to him, oh. I said, oh. And then the wave rolled. I tell you, I was so, I don't know, I was actually so calm. I just rolled back, but I had the gaff. So as it was rolling, I felt, this is not a jet ski I've hooked. I definitely felt I hooked, and I hooked his toe. So I'm like,
Straight
yeah,
through the
yeah,
cod hopper,
like,
boss.
right through the big toe, yeah.
Big up's having a shot.
And it was
He couldn't gaff a 16, 18 kg Garrick, but he managed to hook it.
big toe.
Rolling.
How many times do you miss gaff a fish because you only gaff something like that?
But I could feel it. It was like slow motion, like, oh. So all I did was I sort of let it go a bit.
Did you eat them in your tubby?
Yeah, no. I thought,
Should load him in your fish
no.
tank.
My thought was, this is how the Garrick feels. But then he came off. I felt.
Would have got something for your effort.
Yeah, then he came off, and so I roll, and I'm underwater. I come up, and I'm like at the beach. I'm like, CJ, like like you sort of like creep around, like God, he's dead. He's just so dead. I'm going to check him floating there. And I come around this. Look, he doesn't go to sea a lot. He's like, I said, where's the rod?
Fighting from the beach.
I said, where's the rod? He goes, I got a bag of All I worried about was, look, don't care, we rolled, okay, but where's the rod? Buddy, that's a fish! You know? But anyway,
It's halfway to Namibia by now, bud.
but I do want to tell you that so we get
It was
there.
actually a conservation effort.
Yes.
Long line, you realize
That's what
Long
happens
line
when you
release.
try and gaff a Garrick, okay?
Yeah. But anyway, so we eventually I got to the beach, turned it over. But I do want to tell you one thing that I realized there is your anchor, I tell you, is a vital part. Because we were trying to hold the ski because it was too heavy, it was full of water now, to pull it up the beach. And only afterwards I thought I should just take my anchor, put it on the beach, smash it in the ground, and then take her up and tie it. Because if I can just get the nose to face the beach, irrespective of what's happening, it's not going to turn the ski over until I can get help. So I never thought of it then. We got a couple of oaks to hold it while we went and got a vehicle. But for future reference, I will definitely take my anchor, stick it in the sand up top, and put my rope on, and just pull it so that the nose is facing the beach. So whatever happens, it'll go side, but it'll never roll the ski.
You know, there's the last little thing on this just is that, and it's I had it on my ski for anchoring, but it's something we should actually have. You know, we've got on ski boats, we've got a trip rope which you run down under the boat. For if it goes over, that if you have to stay on the boat, you've got rope to hold it. But the reality is, what we really should do is on jet skis is just have a rope clipped on the front and clipped around on the side, so that if there is any issues, because even if you fail in the surf, and let's say you're in the mid break now, if you do bail off the ski, you can get in the water and hold the rope in the front, so that the ski faces out to sea. It will limit the damage. Then if you do decide to go into the shore,
You'll act like a drone, yeah.
All I did was,
like a
Byron,
drogue.
when I came up, the ski was facing the beach. So I just went around to the back. I didn't try to turn it over. And I said to CJ, look, don't worry. Just kick with me to get it closer to shore where I could stand.
Yeah.
And then I'll turn it over. Luckily, one of the tubbies was broken off. So it turned over very easy. I'm not sure if it would be that easy with two tubbies on. But we turned it over easy because it was still floating, very easy. But it's still a mission, you know. And
it's
obviously,
heavy.
you know, he's a bit nervous.
I think
you know, guys, 3
the
bad
one.
incidents and 3 everyone's okay. So
Yeah.
you've got to
That's
just
the key,
count-
yeah.
count your
The
blessings.
questions come through here from some cheeky lady called Mary Kane. Some cheeky woman called Mary Kane. Does Brendan do a racing start when he launches? It actually reminds me of the first time I launched on a kayak was with you.
At the lagoon.
No, it was on Schloten.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Looked like you're reaching up in the top cover with
This
biscuits.
oak,
He's only with a tomato box.
Hey, what happened here? Guys? What happened?
yeah, that's the story.
Sorry, Bruce.
Brendan's only out running with a box to get on his ski.
Steps. Yeah. Step ladder.
One step. It's like
That's
running a
exactly
race.
what happened.
Step
Because,
in.
Kirk jumps in, he says, okay, right, just follow me. So he runs into the shore break there, and obviously Kirk's a bit taller than me.
And the
Kirk
sea-
parts
Jumps in,
the
and the sea
ocean
part,
like
you know.
jumps onto the ski, so I run in straight after him. I just went.
I just take a cap like this on the surface. In the hand.
In the hole.
onto my ski.
Yeah, it filled up a lot, eh?
You definitely must do a dry start.
But I think one thing we can learn from, if you ever have to go double up with Kev, you take toe cap through that.
Yeah?
Steel toe.
Imagine poor old my barman walking around with a bandage tied on his toe. I said to him,
But I want to tell you that the barman went from a bandage on his toe
To a
the next
broken
day
ankle.
to an ankle boot to the next day to a whole leg boot. I said, I'm not coming back. You're going to come with a whole body brace.
I think the main thing though is that you know we laugh about it and we're lucky that we
but
can
it's a
laugh
serious
about
thing.
it.
It's lucky that we can.
You know, there's
yeah,
been
for
some
sure.
other bad accidents, but yeah, we've all walked away. We've all learned from it.
Yeah.
That's the
we've
key
all
thing.
had an experience.
Makes you a better skipper.
It does.
It does.
100%.
And don't forget, but summer's coming. There's going to be a lot of guys out there, so just make sure you're covered. Because you've got to.
And I think the bottom line here,
Make
Brendan, is
sure you're covered.
make sure
Because it can
you're
happen.
covered absolutely, insurance up to date. But local knowledge, guys, is key. I promise you.
And patience.
Patience, find out all the issues at a launch. Talk to the local boys. They'll tell you follow my line going out, coming in.
Yeah, spend an
Rule
extra 10
number
minutes
one.
sitting at the beach.
They're not going to
looking at
give you the
where
marks,
it's breaking.
but
But they'll
believe
give you the
me, they will
launch,
help
the
you
angle.
on launch.
They will. They will.
All right, guys. So that I think we did a good job
Yeah,
there
we've
with the
done that.
launching. It was lekker. And thanks to Tim Norse, if he's still watching. Big thanks to you, Tim, for coming on. Appreciate that. But we're going to go into something. My first launch back on a kayak after, probably, I don't know, 10 months. And I'm in the car park there at Belito. And my good friend Paul Nixon here, I come into the car park and my pedal had broken on my previous launch 9 months ago. And I forgot to get another pedal. So
He fell on it.
He arrived
Yeah,
at the beach with no paddle.
Yeah.
So
No,
up
I had
a
a-
creek with no paddle.
So that's the bait.
what was the pedal? That
Yeah,
fat, that
one of
fat
those
pedal.
old, like,
That's one was the
proper
bait.
canoeing paddles
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
would use
On a
on a
dam.
dam.
Yeah.
Flat paddle looked like two wooden
Yeah.
spoons, basically.
So I'm in a bit of a mix there at the launch site. I get everything out of the cab, and then I look at this pedal and I'm thinking, hey, I'm in a tight situation here, chaps. So I turned to Paul, and I know he's got the Carbonology pedals and that he does and sells and whatnot. So I say to him, hey, a little bit of a shot in the dark. Paul, do you have a spare pedal here for me? So he says, hey, yeah, but I actually do. He says, but hey, you might wheel spin a bit. He didn't say wheel spin a bit, I wheel spin a flipping lot there. But you might wheel spin a bit, but here's a pedal. Hey, no problem. So this is, we're going to do a bit of a comparison between an athletic launch and Oak that, you can see he does it often.
You're talking about me.
I'm talking about me. No, I'm joking. No, Paul and versus my launch, and then Paul's going to run us through how important it is to make sure you get a pedal that's suited to you as a pedaler and your physique and height and whatnot. So here it is. I hope this is the right video. Here we go.
Okay, it's just Paul now.
No, this is me. This is me.
Parting the ocean.
Watch the tide lift.
Look at that. Look at that.
Have you
Look
got
at that.
sound there, Cam?
There was nothing pretty about this. Look at that.
Did you swim it out?
This is me puzzling to get on here, bro.
Yeah, look at that.
Feels like eternity is trying to get on there.
Oh, look at those nice
Look at
strokes,
this,
nice
boy.
straight
Look at
arms.
this. Look at this.
It looks like a butter knife you're doing.
But check out stalls here.
Let me take my cap off. Cap's off.
Here you go.
No,
Here
he
you
first
go.
has to open his NOS bottle.
Okay.
You're
He's
really,
modeling through the.
have you started paddling it?
It's waiting for the break. It's waiting for the break.
Yeah.
You're still on the beach.
Back line one there.
Yeah, so we're in the sort of trough here, sort of in the mid break. There was only really like a bit of a backline wave this day,
Jeez, well, I found a big back.
Oh, hello, Daddy.
and there we go. Now we're gonna try and boot
We're
this
going to
thing.
punch this like a boat.
He cuts right through.
Well done, well ridden, boy. Well ridden.
Okay. Now Kev comes and says, "How's it?"
I can't tell you Kirk is finished by now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm dying here. I'm kidding. I'm dying.
Look at him. Looks like a butterfly. Are you sweating or are you wet?
Yeah, so that paddle is a little bit
Does he
small
bring
for
the
Kirk
oxygen?
and,
Yeah.
Now you were finished. When I got to here, you were done. Eh?
Yeah. Is this your wife's ski? He
Look at
asked.
this pure
And pedal.
Look at this pure athleticism.
it is pink after.
Can they hear the sound?
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
Now look, he was finished though.
You're not the Kev. I don't
So you're
wanna
having a
lie.
little nap?
But I got water on my finger.
Yeah, in fact, you were finished. It was like he was going. I said, you're right
geez,
there.
yeah. After I took, there was that I hadn't come in contact with anyone that had COVID.
Yeah, let's not talk about the
At the
fishing
launch,
with
I thought maybe after that launch that I had, I thought maybe I had, bro, because I was puzzling there to get oxygen. And this is Paul paddling out. Check the difference here, boys.
Look at that smooth. There's the step he
And
talks
there we go.
about.
There's the surf
not
ski
even a
step.
shory.
Check here.
Sorry.
Straight out. No, I think this was at an Dam, eh?
Look at that. You didn't, it's like one
Just
motion.
modeling out there. Check it out.
One motion.
It's called calling the break from
Those
the
pedals
beach.
are those wings of that pedal are barely
He's going
catching
so
the
much
ice spots
faster
there.
than you.
Yeah, he is, eh? He is.
I was
it
pretty
backline?
scared. There was a bit of a
Because my
backline.
lunchbox was holding me back.
I don't know if we cut the video a little bit short, but you'll hear my heart rate was pretty high. I punched a big wave at the back.
Here we go.
So waiting in the trough, waiting for the wave.
No, that
Oh, yeah, that's
was
nice.
Come on, Paul.
There you go.
Oh!
No, there wasn't much after that, eh?
Yeah, he went out
But
smoothly.
Paula, I think, obviously you can't really compare with regards to me having not paddled for like 7-8 months. But give us a bit of information with regards to, there it is. Give us a bit of information with regards to paddles and making sure you choose the correct one for
How
yourself
do you
as a
choose
kayaker. Yeah.
Height.
Yeah, so pretty much you would, well, easiest is to explain between what I learned to Kirk
And they
what
cut to
I-
Paul.
You'll be back. You'll be back.
what I paddle with. So if you hang on to that.
Yeah, that's the first time ever. Bro. Yeah.
I'm converted.
Ever.
First time Ken's ever held a paddle.
Yeah,
Right, so-
100%.
So this green paddle is what I paddle. It's a CS3, Carbon Energy CS3. And it's sort of a mid-sized paddle. What you would, the best way to describe it is for someone that would be using it for a longer period on the water. But it's not a sprint paddle, so it doesn't have a very large volume inside the actual paddle face.
So they're different, Paul. You're trying to say the blade is different.
Yes, so the size,
Okay, the scoop.
so the actual, let's just take this one apart. Easy.
Wow, they break easier.
They do break easy, unfortunately, they're carbon. So the actual spoon of the paddle, so this is the smaller one that I loaned to Kirk. The spoon of the paddle here is very, very small, and it allows you to
It's like my cereal spoon.
spin quicker in the water. So
Just smaller.
What it does help with is that you can put it in and get it out a lot faster than, say, for instance, this bigger.
So which one is
So less
quicker?
torque. That's got
So-
less torque.
Yeah, this one's got
Yeah.
less torque,
Less
this one's
torque.
got more.
Yeah.
So the CS4 is one that they would use for sprint kayaking. So it's for
So more volume of water.
Yeah, it pulls a
more
lot,
surface area.
lot more water, but you generally burn out quite quickly. So it's for a short.
That's the one he was
sharp-
using, eh? Because he burnt out quick.
Unfortunately, Kirk was using the small one, which is this is a paddle that would be for a slighter built person or for women.
He was trying
I think he saw the color of the ski.
He was trying to push a 21 foot with a 50
So
cc.
the paddle that
With a sneaker motor.
I'll be using for a long time now is sort of it's got a medium-sized volume spoon. You don't end up getting fatigued over a long period of time. Obviously, on a fishing kayak, you're going to be paddling for 4 or 5 hours at a time, and you don't want to end up at the end of your session completely
Suffering.
shot.
Yeah.
And now you've got to negotiate coming back in, and your arms are blown. Your petrol is finished.
Get a bigger
So
tank.
Paul, I can relate to that on the jet skis. I often get a cramp here. After 4 or 5 hours, right here. So,
Even some
do you know what? Yeah, sometimes I can understand. What do you
Can you
call this
change
muscle?
fingers?
Yeah. Is it the same thing?
pretty much.
So, Paul, do you adjust the length here
Yeah,
as well?
so there are paddles that are fixed length paddles, and what you can do, it does help to save a little bit of weight, and any of that weight at the end of the day does
And a lunchbox?
help. So the one of the rules of thumb, and please forgive me, I am no expert at this kind of thing. You can probably speak to my wife about this. She's more of a surf ski
Champion.
World
Champion.
World champion.
So one of the ways that people would describe setting up a paddle for yourself, the old rule is to set a paddle, if you can curl your fingers around the top and have the paddle on the ground like that, would be the right length. That's a very long.
I see my problem now.
They don't make it short enough.
Yours don't close it.
Yeah. You just
Very
can't
mini
get,
section.
you just
And
can't
the
get your hand
longer
around
the
that wooden
paddle-
spoon.
The longer the paddle shaft, the more torque you get.
Yeah, because you got
So it's
Yeah.
like
Bigger
adding
arc.
a bigger pitch on your motor.
yeah.
Because you know what I noticed with
It
Kirk?
makes it a very heavy load, and obviously we don't. Your arms are not designed for like super heavy load, especially trying to generate quick movement.
Yeah.
I've shortened my paddle for fishing ski use because the boat we're launching with a ski that weighs 26, 28 kilos, loaded probably another 20 kilograms, give or take.
With fish.
15 kilos. So it's a lot of weight. Now I'm leaning 90 kilos plus, call it 40 kilos of weight. Try and generate speed enough to get yourself safely out of the shore break zone, and then obviously fast enough to get past backline. You need a bit of a shorter paddle so you can generate a quicker pace. So I've opted for a mid-sized paddle. I've paddled the 4s. They do work for someone that may be a bit stronger. I'm not a very strong person.
So I would use this one.
Yeah, Kev, you'd probably go with a 5.
I've got the guns.
Yeah, check those guns.
I've got the gun.
So
I see a bit of a
let's
challenge.
go rule of thumb for someone that's just getting into kayaking. What would you suggest with regards
Buy a
to
jet
paddles
ski.
that they work?
So if
they
you,
look for?
so I'm 6'2", that's 189,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. I would go for a paddle that shaft length of between 209 and 212, 213 centimeters, and a mid-range paddle, definitely. You don't want to end up getting something that's too light for you, and then if you do fish a lot, you will get stronger, and then you'll find that you'll wheel spin with a smaller paddle. And then obviously with a bigger paddle, I know that there are some of our mates, Roscoe, he fishes with the CS4s. He really prefers those. I would probably suggest going down a size, so the 3 or a mid-sized paddle. It offers you a little bit more leniency for, duration of paddling.
Okay, you're getting very technical.
It
Well,
is
I wanna
technical,
know-
eh?
This is the question
Yeah.
to you. You say if you use this paddle, gives you more torque, but eventually,
Yeah, you'll burn out.
yeah.
You
I
can.
noticed with Kirk that after he was using that one, he also stopped talking. So is that the same thing?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much.
All right.
While we live on air here, and Kev's got that pedal in his hand, maybe there's a bit of a. We're always up for a bit of a challenge.
Dream on, boys.
Yeah.
This physique is not meant for paddles.
Oh, come on, Kev.
I'll tell you what I will
I've got
do.
a paddle
I'll put
ski
a
for
paddle
you.
in my
Even
jet
if it's
ski
on a double.
and I'll launch it.
But Kev, then you can ride the wave into shore.
Yeah.
Huh? Problem solved.
How to make
Listen
the
to me.
brace.
There's no way this body gets pushed by. You need a tsunami.
All right, guys, we're going to go into giving away this lovely cool bag here from
Stevie.
From Stephen.
Let's have a look at that bag.
Yeah, have a good look at that. That is,
Yeah, Ali, show the bag there.
there's a
You're
lovely
doing
fish
great
bag
job.
from Stephen Wiggle from Cool Bag.
Let's see if I can get it.
Come on, Ben.
Okay,
Let's see it.
can you?
Okay, so the question is,
Will Brendan fit?
Can
while
Brendan
Brendan's trying to
get
get
in
in the fish bag,
And will he smell like fish?
the question is for the guys. The first person, the first person,
You have to break its tail off.
the first person to answer correctly wins the bag. So, in what year did Go Fish start? In what year was Go Fish started?
And send it on the comments.
And send it on the comments. All right, we're going to run into the next subject of our live stream. Talk show here. Al, we'll move to you with regards to your drop shots.
Thanks, Kirk.
Yeah, your drop shot techniques and whatnot.
Some good answers coming through here.
Go
And how to pimp up your drop shots.
Okay,
wanna
guys,
take it
I'm going
away
to
then?
take you through what I do.
There you go, we've got a winner. Johan
Who's
Skuman.
it? Nice.
Johan Skuman, well done, Johan Skuman.
Well done, boy, kid.
Well done, bro. You won that lovely fish bag from.
Send us.
Check at this winner, Ratty Campbell, 2017.
No, good try there, Grant. Good try. Good try.
watching
Only
last
about 9 years off, but it's fine.
You were close.
Yeah, so Johan Skuman.
All right, Ellie, take it away there. But
Guys, I'm going to take you through quickly about a drop shot setup that I use. Firstly, going to the rod and reel. Travella 7 foot. Guys, you need a line. You need to feel that drop shot, and I'll go through the drop shots now and I'll tell you why. I use the 7 foot Travella, medium fast. Lovely rod paired with a Pen Slammer 5.5. You've got to put light braid on here. I put 30-pound braid. Sometimes I even go to a 20-pound leader. Depends on which area I'm fishing. But very smooth reel, guys. And also you want something that's very light because you're going to be doing this most of the day. So
At
if
least you are.
Yeah, at least I will, Kev. So if you look at it, you know, it's operated by your wrist. So definitely a lovely setup available from any tackle shop. You know, I prefer this. It's my setup. It's done me well. I've caught some serious fish. I mean, this one, I got a 28 kg tuna on this setup, and I tell you what, that's fishing. You know, you want to feel the fish. You want to
Just on that,
to have it drill you. I mean, that's what I do it for, is the sport.
on that rod and reel, if you can just pick it up again there, Al. I mean, that rod from the Trevella sort of series that I know, and generally, if a guy's going to go into a tackle shop and he's got different sort of brands that he likes and that sort of thing, essentially you're looking for a rod, 7-foot rod, that, like you're saying, but it needs to have a nice sort of decent backbone starting off, moving into a tip that's nice and flexible, and that gets nice and flexible right at the tip, so that when you're dropping that drop shot right to the bottom, and you need to get it on the ground, and work it back either sort of almost at a 45-degree angle, right? That as soon as you impart, as soon as you flick it, it loads in the tip. That's nice and light, and it actually flicks that drop shot and works it up at a nice lifelike action.
What I was going to do is I'm actually going to run you through the technique that I use. Cool. You can just hold that. But what I want to do is firstly show you the heads that I use. So here are some different size heads. You know, these are mustard, and I tell you what, that color, the red color, has done very well for me. There's something that's come out from mustard, and I just like these because of the shape, is they brought out a white one. And something that Kirk laughs at me about is, you know, my colouring skills. So, guys, if you want to get your wives involved in fishing,
Your kids.
kids. Go into your missus's vanity case, take all of the colours of nail polish that you can find, and put them on your boat.
Ali uses his own vanity case.
Yeah, no, I tell you what, you're going to laugh. But everything that I buy is in white. Okay, this is my MacArthur split tail, and these are paddle tails. Okay. And then what I've done, and you know, strangely enough, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you one now. Yeah.
Be serious about it.
And guys, if you ever go to Ponta, you go and buy those because I don't know what it is, but the red and white works.
Yeah.
I have got no idea why. I can put blue and white, I can put green and white, it doesn't work. But red and white gets the bite. So what I do is I've got white heads. There's your
Red and white gets the butt.
red and white. And if you want the
Check
bite,
it in, he's even wearing it.
While you're working on this here, the first time I actually saw this was from a guy by the name of Brad Arthur. And if you don't know him in the industry, or if you do know him in the industry, he is like one of the legends.
Yeah, he's a guru.
He's unreal. And it was up in Pandon, and we were battling for bites up there. And he was staying in the same cabin as us. And he came back to the cabin, and he started cutting. He had a red, at that stage it was Riptide, I think it was, the drop shots. And he had grey and white drop shots. Those are the only drop shots he took out. And he took out a couple of other guys, but mostly red and white and grey, because he can do that. He can colour those drop shots in. And I tell you what, the flippin' bites that oak would get, I mean, he would outfish anyone up there because of these little...
You know what I do? I sit on the jet ski. I sit on the
Can
jet
I
ski.
colour in?
And I colour in all of my drop shots and bucktails. I do this on bucktail as well. I colour in everything I buy is white, and then I sit with my colours. Here's a green one. So
It doesn't wash off, Ali.
Does it
no,
know
it's
what colour?
permanent. So
Permanent marker,
you know,
yeah.
there's a green. Maybe I'll colour the tail in green, and I'll try that. If it doesn't work, I'll throw it away. I'll get another white colour. I'll maybe draw some stripes on it. Okay.
So you're basically varying it the
No,
whole
I
time.
change it all the time until I figure out
What would you
works.
say your two favourites?
Well, first thing
Colour
I've got
patterns.
Colouring in is.
the blue and white. So the
Okay.
blue and white stripes, I take this exact one. It's a 5-inch paddle tail. I've got maybe blue stripes along the side. And then the red and white, which I've done there. And this, guys, you go to Ponta, you get these heads. You get it in a bit of a heavier one because you're fishing probably at the ledge at the 40-meter odd. And you want it down quicker, but very strong hooks. Quality hooks. I've never had one break. And mix it up, guys. Don't be shy. Change it as many times as you can. Try different colours, different patterns, different tails. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through what Kirk was saying for. And I wanted to do this when I actually could show you the drop shot, is the action. Byron, I'm going to ask you, because Byron's also a very big drop shot fisherman, and call it bucktail. We'll probably do it a later episode. is in that rod. The reason I use it is because you've got to feel that bucktail.
I've
or
actually
that
got
drop shot.
I've got a video of the action, Ali. I've got a
Okay.
video of the action. You want me to play it now?
Please, if you can.
Yeah, 100%.
So, with this,
You've got to feel the bounce,
I can
you know?
feel that.
Watch the tip there. The tip does everything.
The most
You know, you've got to feel it.
anything up to 25 meters. If you are shallow, guys, it's better to go light. So, yeah, if you can hold that, I mean, look at the backbone on that.
Okay, they can't see now.
And then, you know, give it a few quicker ones.
You're watching the video.
Yeah, see how the rod
Obviously, when you get
loads.
to the
Yeah.
surface, the pelagics up
And
there
it
light
loads
it a
it,
bit
yeah.
quicker.
It must load it.
Okay, so if you've seen there, guys, I was just having a look at the video.
Play it from the top.
You've got to load it. And what they mean by load it is when you pull up, your rod bends. Now that's called the load. And how the action of a drop shot works is when that rod straightens, it does a certain action to the lure. So which means that you've got to always know. in your
obviously when you
hand
get to
where
the
that drop
surface-
shot is. When you're pulling up, it's loading and releasing. So you can only do that with light rods. You cannot do it on heavy rods. You can't even feel it, which means that your action is going to be erratic to me. Now let me tell you, everyone's got their own action. Sometimes I throw it, I let it sink. It must hit the floor, guys. Don't try and pull it when it's on the surface. You want to pull it at the 45 through the water column. Okay, that's the whole point. What I tend to do with the drop shot, the bucktail, I'll pull a lot faster through the water column, but a drop shot, you want to pull it and let it sink. You actually want it to do as slow action as possible. So you're giving it a big jerk up, loading it, it's going up, and it's sinking slowly, and obviously the tail's moving down. Gets to the floor, up, and let it hit the floor. And only when you're really sort of halfway in your retrieve, try the different species, do a faster retrieve. You might get the tuna, the bonnies, and that more higher to the surface before you obviously cross them.
Ali, with drop shot, the word to remember in your head, the statement is, you can never be too slow.
No,
With
not
drop
at all.
shot, you can never be too, and it's all in the wrist. Eh?
And you know who's the best drop shot fisherman? Is the guy who can catch a bass. Because they literally hook a drop shot. They'll throw it in with no sinker. And you know how long that takes to hit the floor? I mean, it's like paper going through. And they just twitch it. And with that little twitch,
Yeah.
it goes up and it floats and it sinks.
Can never be too
I've
quick.
seen guys bass fishing that are bass fish that literally takes them over 5 minutes to retrieve a cast. Because that's how slow. And
Look-
it taught me patience.
Yeah. Lure anglers, bass lure anglers, make unbelievable artificial anglers on a
teaches
saltwater
you.
because it's unreal. But no, I've fished with a couple. I mean, a good mate of mine, Adil Kaji, up in Joburg, or a good mate of Go Fishers. He is a phenomenal bass fisherman. But that's where he honed his skill for the offshore scene.
proper,
He's
he's
brilliant.
proper.
But Byron, I think you can weigh in on this
Oh,
as
he
well.
phoned me today, by the way. KG, how's it?
You can weigh in on this as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is also there's two different things. I think we spoke about at some stage, but you know, you're either looking for a reaction bite or you're looking for a reality bite, and that's the way I put it. So, and if you look back at the way jigging and sort of developed, initially it was all sort of fast action, high
like a
retrieve,
steroid
like
goal.
massive effort. And you know, and getting the bites, and for me that was much more of a reaction bite where the fish just saw something coming past, a big fish, and he said, "I'm going to kill it," and he had a go, not even knowing what it was. Whereas now, when you're fishing the slow retrieve, like you were saying, Kev, as well, and the action and that, you're actually trying to mimic the fish that are down there. So
Absolutely.
you're trying to get it to look like the fish first of all. So obviously you're changing your pattern on and the different colours and that you're using. But the retrieve also is that you're trying to mimic a fish that's darting, and if it's a small bait fish, he is darting all the time because something's trying to eat him somewhere along the line. So he's skittish, and that's basically what you're mimicking. You're mimicking.
And you need to have
something
that
skittish.
thought, Byron. You know, I'm always thinking,
Think like a fish.
hey, you know, what is it doing in the water? Is it?
Yeah.
And the best way to go and throw in your pool and have
Throw
a
it in
look
the
at
pool.
it and see. But I tell you, with especially drop shot, it's for me lighter setup makes a massive difference because it's all for me it's all in the wrist of what's going on.
So the trick
finesse
also
fishing.
is also on your braid, because you can fish 30-pound braid and you can
Yeah.
fish 30-pound braid and you can fish 30-pound braid, and they're all very different. So I fish JDB because it's a very thin diameter. So I can fish 50-pound and it'll be the same as someone fishing
It's 30.
30-pound.
Yeah.
you know.
Is it that thin?
Another brand.
Because
Yeah.
it's so thin, a
It
different
is a
brand.
thin.
Because so your drag, and the main reason why you want that as well is besides the sight thing, but generally you're fishing with a fluoro leader anyway, is that you want to drop quickly. So what I was saying
through
is
the water
you want
much
to get to the
quicker.
bottom, 40 meters, you're at current, you're fishing with like a 2-ounce head. You want it to get down, you're drifting. If there's wind, you got to throw it up current or up your drift basically. So what I should say, down your drift. So if you're drifting from say north to south, you cast south because you want it to drop
onto
down
the-
while
come
you're
onto
drifting
it.
towards it.
Byron,
So
just touch
as you
again on
know-
what you just said. I think the viewers must understand.
Yeah.
I promise you, the thinner braid, the thinnest diameter braid, the better.
Yeah.
Because if you're fishing in current,
Yeah.
it slices
It's
through the water
rag,
much
yeah,
quicker. And what he's saying is
And it's silky
absolutely.
smooth that, I mean, and that's just my personal opinion. There's lots of other good braids as well. It's just worked for me and I haven't had failure. So and then the second part of what you're talking about as well is your leader. And that's where where I mix it up a lot. So I'll start light. And if I get smoked on that stuff, I'll start I won't really go much less than 40 pound, especially on the deeper ledges, because big fish there are going to smoke you. You just can't stop them. So I'll fish 40 because your braid's 50 anyway. And then if you're getting a bite getting smashed, then I'll go up to 50 until you can
as you're
until you
getting
can
the
manage
bite,
it.
you can.
As long as you get a bite,
Yeah.
exactly.
On that,
So Byron, can I ask a question? So, do you fish fluoro or mono on jigging and drop shot?
I fish fluoro.
Okay.
The problem with fluoro is that your
bit
knot
stiff.
you lose strength in the knot. So you have to do the right knot. You have to do a right
Okay.
knot. There's a fluoro knot. Go and Google it. We'll get the link.
You don't
somewhere
think
online.
fluoro is a bit stiffer than mono for jigging and drop shotting? That
I hear you on the give. But it's very. I mean, it's
On a meter and a half leader, it's not going to be.
it's very seldom. I mean, you do pull hooks, but it's very seldom you pull hooks once he's engulfed that thing, because if it's a decent sized fish, he sucked it in, so it's hooked him solid in the jaw.
Yeah.
So I lose a lot more fish getting reef, basically.
Okay, yeah.
A lot more fish, probably 80-90% of the fish is getting reef. Obviously, you have an on-off, but that I don't
Sure.
think, and that's not being affected by.
just on something on the leader, like while you're talking about leader and that, the other thing that I picked up when we were in Sodwana now as well is the action of the rod together with your thickness of your leader and your jig head itself. Okay, so I prefer to fish a nitro jig head with drop shot. Okay,
which is the angled one.
Yeah, the angled one.
Yeah,
so it's
not the
tapered.
round
It's got a
ball head.
tapered chin.
I prefer the ball.
Also gives it
So
a.
monohull, yeah.
That's exactly it. But if you've got a stiffer rod and a thicker leader, you lose the action
Yes.
You do.
that nitro jig head imparts. So if you're fishing nice and light and you're fishing with a rod that's got a nice sort of
Cuts.
action, it actually darts from side to side like that. And that's you got the nitro jig head.
That's
there
it
we
there.
go. That's the one.
Well, that's similar.
So
One other thing, Byron, I think the viewers must also understand when you're fishing on Ali's rig there, drop shot and that, you're really only trying to catch fish, under a meter. You're not trying to catch shellfish. You're not trying to, So you need to understand when you're drop
that's the
shotting,
nitro jig.
you're trying to catch small puller, reef fish, that are out there. You're not trying to catch a 60-kilo fish, eh?
So
I use it for species fishing. That's it.
Yeah, but if you've got in your mind what you're
Quality fish,
targeting,
you
you
don't
know you're
really
not
wanna
trying to
go
catch
and target
a
them.
monster. You're going to catch.
So that there also what I do is I also colour that head. It's more difficult because it's
Strong hook.
so my wife. Sorry, Mary. Okay, I don't colour the head.
yeah, I was gonna say
Does Mary colour the head?
Mary spends about 3 days. She puts undercoat. She puts like a clear nail polish on to give it a sealer, and then sprays.
Hey, professional.
She's a keeper.
Wait, hang on.
And then sprays glow. So glow is also another thing that works. And it's not a bright glow. It comes out with a dull glow in the water as well. But again, it's creating that contrast, and that's exactly what's happening. Same with a redhead on the white body. It's creating same like a redhead lure. If it's one of the go-to lures for most guys, a red and white lure. It's that contrast, and it's obviously mimicking something that's down there. Divers will probably know better. Red is the first color that does disappear as you go
why it's
deeper.
strange, yeah.
So it will actually go black.
That's why I don't
So it's
use
actually, it could be the black on the white that they're actually seeing that contrast again. It's creating that. But the other thing I do also is going to the dropping down, I'll trim the tail as well. So it's very difficult on the paddle tail.
paddle tail.
So because you battle to get flukes in that size,
Absolutely.
and that sits on that size hook and that.
fix, yeah.
So we're using a paddle tail. So what I'll do is I'll trim that paddle tail.
You'll cut the
into
edges off.
shape. Yeah, I'll cut it into the shape of a fluke, like a bass lure. So that also allows it to drop quicker because so I'll cut it more in that shape.
The split tail,
Yeah, so I'll
Trim,
trim.
make it a
I'll-
strip.
trim the sides off, and I'll cut a
I'll do
V
the
in the
same.
middle of it, so I'll make it narrow. So also, because otherwise when it's going down, it's going like that, and it's actually slowing it going down, whereas it'll drop quicker. And then if you've got the nitro head, you're going to get the action anyway.
Yeah.
So the paddle tail doesn't become that important actually in the lure. It's actually the darting of it, and it's then mimicking again a live fish. But I mean, those are all things that work. I mean,
But look, the most important point he made there was to definitely get a wife like Mary, who goes and,
we've done
and
it.
cleans them up. I mean, she's
Doing
amazing.
something wrong, Kev.
No,
Me
I'm
and you
gonna.
are spraying, what?
I just want to say, Kareen, I love you, my darling. You make great salmis, but you need to have a chat with Mary.
I've got a spray booth here if you guys need
Nah,
help.
I tell you
it's
what,
called the Swiss Army
Mary,
wife.
Mary,
Okay.
yeah, Mary needs to get some. I see she's watching. Mary, good evening. You need to get all the credit in the world for all the craft you
Well
do
done, huh?
at Ponto.
He does
The
nothing.
put up with
beers
fire.
are always cold, and he's busy sucking on an ice cold Castle Lad while you're busy spraying glow on the jig heads there. But guys, we're going to move into next prize. Go fish top there, Brennan. Go fish.
Come on, Brendan.
A go fish fishing top, a sublimated go fish top. So we've got a couple of different designs, guys. We've got a GT design, we've got a yellowfin tuna
that's the
design, and we've got Dorado and sailfish. For more information on the clothing, you can go to Go Fish Apparel, www.gofishapparel.com. .co.za, sorry.
Come on, come on, Phil.
Gofishapparel.co.za. And Brendan's going to give one of these
How's that cheat?
lovely shirts away. Check that GTA. So the question is, where are we streaming from tonight, and who are the leaders in jet ski fishing? It's the same answer. So who are the leaders in jet ski fishing?
Boom.
First one to answer will get win himself a lovely sublimated Go Fish fishing top.
Cool shirts.
And we wait. And we wait.
Come on, guys.
Come on, guys.
There's a slight lyrics.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
Cookie, where are we from here?
So-
Here we go. Carl Hunlin.
No way.
Bob John.
Bob
Hey, well done, Carl. Well done, bud.
Sorry, we don't give it the card.
You got a nice yellowfin, I think, the other day.
Yeah, you got a
Wow,
lekker
so
yellowfin.
lovely.
Yeah,
24
something.
something.
Give him the yellowfin.
Yeah,
Give
give him
him
the
the
yellow
yellow
fin.
fin.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Thanks for joining us. Shay, thanks for lending us the site here.
Yeah, no, have it.
And yeah, appreciate it.
Kirk, let's just touch on what we're releasing tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. So good point there, Kev. Thanks very much.
Anytime, Kirk.
So tomorrow night, guys, we're going to be releasing, or tomorrow afternoon, we're hoping, we're going to be releasing a full edit of the week's fishing. So this will be happening every Friday. We're going to be releasing a highlights package, hopefully sort of an 8 to 12 minute clip. No pressure there, Chatty, our editor. Every Friday we'll be releasing a highlights clip, 8 to 12 minutes of the week's fishing, from tips, tricks, a little bit of sort of humor as well. Kev doing donuts around me on the kayak, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Please, guys, comment, give us some ideas of what you want to see,
Yeah, ask
and
questions.
and ask
Absolutely.
questions, 100%, Paulo.
Questions.
So Kirk, just to
that's what it's all
recap.
about.
So, what happens Monday?
So Monday we've got the show on Go Fish TV on YouTube. You log into Go Fish TV on YouTube. You make sure you subscribe, and you can get the episode of Go Fish with Friends. At the moment, we're doing the Sodwana series, and it's going into episode 2. If you haven't watched episode 1 as yet, it was played on Monday night at 8. So you
still
can,
there.
and still there. You can go back and catch it up. So we'll be doing episode 2 of Go Fish with Friends in Sodwana. Hopefully, Paulo
That's on
can
Monday,
join us
eh?
for the next one.
That's on Monday.
That's on Monday at 8.
All right.
On Tuesday, we're going to be sort of pushing the Go Fish with Friends for you guys to watch episode 2. We'll also release another fishing video there just to keep your guys sort of taste buds satisfied there
Inspired.
for fishing.
And obviously the whole time in between the live streaming is spontaneous. So if the weather's good,
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to be live streaming tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna be
I'm
live
going to
streaming
launch. I don't know
tomorrow.
if anybody else launching.
Possibly.
I'm launching in the morning.
Hold on.
I
I
don't
was
know.
gonna,
how
I was gonna see if the boss man's watching.
So yeah, guys, I plan to launch tomorrow. So maybe Paul will join me at salmon. We'll go catch some of those Greeks.
Kayak. So yeah, that'll be.
watch the
We're
back
going to be
way,
live streaming anytime that the weather's good. Any day the weather's good, guys. We'll have a live stream going. Tuesday is done. Wednesday we're going to go into the pro tip or the tackle tip of the week. Thursday we'll have every Thursday at 8. We'll have the live talk show, Go Fish wrap up show of the week's fishing and whatnot, just like we've done tonight. And then Friday back into that 8 to 12 minute edit.
Guys, all the stuff we're going to post is on YouTube. Live feeds, Facebook.
Yeah, live feeds, Facebook.
So, and the rest is on YouTube. So
follow us on both.
follow us on both, absolutely. Put your notifications,
Yeah, notification.
and then you'll be notified if we go live.
I know some guys say, "Oh, I don't have Facebook, whatever," but it's easy
Well,
to sign up and
But
Mark Zuckerberg,
yeah, and
we
guys,
thank you.
just also, I mean,
sign up and
let us know. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. This is it's a big learning curve for us as well. We appreciate all the support we've had. I mean, geez, we've had some incredible positive feedback, and so it's really motivating us.
Every week we'll get
to
better,
carry
I
on.
suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean we?
Aye.
Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much
Cheers.
for watching. We
Cheers,
really
guys.
appreciate it.
And
we'll
pay
see
your
you next
TV
week.
licenses.
Thanks for visiting us,
guys.
thanks, Shay.
Yeah, pleasure. Shot,
You say, nah, that's not happening. Okay, now listen.